Yo, what's up guys, hope you all having a great day. Thank you for watching. So recently these 2x1 shell bases got pretty popular recently, but I've been using them for a while. There's actually one in the background, the skin review video I did 11 months ago. I think a lot of the builders have lost the plot, made them too complex and expensive to build. They're supposed to be cheap and easy so anyone can do it and not have to really worry about upkeeping the base. That being said, this is my version of it. It's super cheap and super easy to build. Starting out the tour, you see we have some pretty decent peaks all the way around the base. Also, I put a disconnectable TC outside. You don't have to do that, but I'd recommend it so people can't grief you. Heading in through the front door, you see there's Patrico Peak for door campers and door raids. We also have these inner peaks here, which are pretty dope. You don't have to have these turrets here. I'd recommend putting the turrets on the roof first before you do these ones. You don't need that ramp either. I just like the ramp there. It makes it easy to crouch shoot through there. I do recommend having ceiling mats and the boxes in the Patricos though. You can also shut that door through Patrico, which is pretty good for door campers. Heading up one of the two mobility chutes, going up to the peaks. You can see the peaks and the shell are both segmented off really well. Makes it good for when people are trying to raid into their base so they don't get full control of your base off rip. You can actually defend most of the raid from up here since there's peaks pretty much everywhere into your base. The only time you need to go down is when you're sealing. We also have some Brutalist peaks here. If you don't have the Brutalist skin, it's fine. You can use sheet metal and just take off that center embrasure. I forgot to demolish this twig earlier, so I had to shoot it. Sorry about that. Here's the peak ups onto the roof, which are pretty handy if people are landing a mini copper or scrappy up there that raid you. I've seen different configurations for these peaks, so test them out on a building server. I've seen people use the triangle frames and whatnot. This is the way I like to do it. But you do you, try it out, and tell me what you think down in the comments. Like I said, if you're going to do turrets, put them up on the roof first, and then down in the shell before you do anything. This is a spare bedroom with a sneaky bunker. We'll get back to the bunker here in a second. Let's go ahead and go into the core. If you are going to set up turrets, this seems to be the best place to set up a battery. It seems to be the safest. I've had at least amount of people raid up here. This is the automatic smelter setup. I have a video on it if you guys want to see that. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner. So the core is actually pretty roomy considering how small it is, and there's a lot of room for loot, which is surprising. Wait until we get barrels, there'll be even more room for loot. You guys are probably wondering where the TC is and what upkeep cost is. Well, that's what the bunker's for. We have our TC hidden in here, and you also hide other loot in here. Keep in mind the building cost is going to be different for you. I accidentally upgraded some of the high quality didn't need to be, and if you're not having all the armored doors, it's definitely going to be lower. Just to save time and upgrade everything to its final form, but you can use whatever material you have. You only have stone sheet doors, that works good. There's only a couple spots where you actually need garage doors. Make sure the roller on the G door is facing the same way as it is in this video, otherwise it'll clip through the stairs. I like to make the single doors open outwards so they don't impede my movement, and if you open up the double doors, it's a little airlock. You can defend raids and whatnot from up here. If you don't have enough mats, you can just do the double door and the Patrico as I do in the video here, and then put the sheet doors in later. You can build through the wall now and put the shelf up above the PC. I'd recommend using the low ramps. If you use the high ramps, it's hard to replace the wall on the low side of the ramp if it gets destroyed in a raid. I accidentally armored this. It's supposed to be sheet metal. If you don't plan on having turrets, you can actually just skip this triangle floor here. Whenever I get the mobility chutes finished, I like to put a vending machine here to make it harder to raid into core. Make sure not to have the vending machine stick too far out past that door, or it's demolishable when they break the foundation underneath it. If you don't plan on having turrets on the roof, you can do it like this alternatively, but that's up to you. You can actually leave these wood if you want. People usually don't rocket them, but I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these to stone for the video. Now you just do the same thing on the other side. You don't even have to use the Dropbox bunker on the roof if you don't want to. It just helps hide the TC a little bit better. If you want a full tutorial on it, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner. So that's the whole base design. I didn't really get into turret placement or deployable placement because honestly I don't really use turrets in this base that often, and you should kind of customize this base to your own liking. It's pretty modular. Do your own thing with it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you guys want to help out the channel, you can join membership. It's only $1.99 a month. And if you want to stay up to date with Rust content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll catch you all later. Deuces.